Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to our 2D hack and slash series. This is going to be, we're getting really close to the end of this series now. In this video, we're going to be adding in the boss creature, the boss knight, which in the game is just a really big enemy, basically. They spawn when the player has a certain amount of score. They start to spawn more often, and I feel like in this game the funny thing is the hardest enemy is the crow in this game, and the boss enemy and the normal knight are just there kind of to distract you from the crows. So, but let's get started here. We should have we don't have, oh goodness gracious, we don't have our boss sprites imported yet, so we need to import those. So I'm going to actually go to my resources there. You guys should already have the resources downloaded. Your grave resources.zip. I'm going to download some right now. And where are you? Grave resources. I just oh, here it is. Okay. Extract all. And here we go. Close out of this. Sprites. Here's our boss. Okay. I'm going to hold shift to highlight all of those and then drag and drop them onto sprites right there. And then I'm going to create a new group. Let's do add group. We'll call this one miscellaneous and put our two effects in here, or the enemy health bar stuff. And then we'll add another group, call it boss. And we'll put all of these in here. Oh, and I should mention that this video is likely going to be a little bit longer than the other ones because the boss is, we're going to be doing the entire boss enemy in one video, and it's just quite a bit of work. So now we need to set the origins on these sprites, and I'm going to just kind of click down here somewhere. So 48 and 90 seems like a good origin point for this sprite. So then we're going to do that on our other ones too. Our boss mask, we're going to do bottom center for the mask. But here we're going to do 48 and 90. What is the idle? It's just whatever. 48 and 90. I'm not even sure we use the idle. That surprises me. Okay, this one's not going to work how I want it to. We're going to have to kind of manually place this and hope that we can get close. So I'm going to do 93 and 174 on this one. And that puts the end of our origin right under here, but level with this pixel on the foot. And let's try and do that with these too. So that would be right here. So that's 4788 on this one. Probably 4788 on this one as well. Yep. Oh, 4787, I guess, on that one. And then on this one, 51 and 90. So there you go. For walking, it's 51 and 90. The mask is the bottom middle. For idle, it's 47.87. For the dying, it's 47.88. And finally, for attacking, it is 93.174. Oh goodness, now I have to try and match this up. Oh, it should be the same. It should be the same as attacking. So 93.174. So come 93 and then 174. There we go. Okay, our sprites are imported. Do Windows close all? We should have the origin in the correct spot. Let's come into our objects and we're going to create a new object. We'll call this one O_boss and we'll give it a parent of our enemy parent. Just drag and drop parent right there. Now we need to set, oops, it's from my reference project there. I accidentally middle clicked and brought up the help, I mean. Now we need to override this create event. So right click and we'll actually call inherit event. That's what we want to do. So we'll inherit the event from the enemy parent. But in here, we're going to set some stuff here. We'll set our state. Well, do we set the state in the enemy parent? I don't think we do. No, we don't. Okay, so we'll do that here. We'll set state equal to chase. And we'll set HP equal to 100, max HP equal to HP, speed, I don't think we have speed. Does our knight have a speed variable? It doesn't. We do. Oh, it has chase speed. Okay, so we'll have something similar then. Chase speed. We'll set it equal to 0.5 for now. We'll set our max chase speed equal to 2 maybe. We'll set our experience equal to 50. So this gives us a lot of experience. And I think that's it for now. Inside of our create event, I mean. So now we need to set up our step event with our states. Set up a new step. We'll do switch state and then switch and then we'll have our first state here, which will be our chase state. Case chase. And then we'll do break here. Don't forget your break statements. So here we'll say set state sprite. We'll do S boss walk. Our speed will be 0.12. I don't know. We'll have to mess around with that. And our image index will start at 0. Then we need to check to see if we are close to the skeleton. So we'll say if, well, how did we do this in our knight? Because it's going to be pretty similar. this stuff right here. This is going to all be very similar, so might be smart to put this into might really be smart to put all of this code right here into a script, the same way we did with our death state and knockback state. So let's do a new script and we'll call this chase state, and then we'll just paste this in here. There we go. That's looking good to me. And then we can just call chase state right there. And then we can do that same thing inside of our boss. I think. Chase state. Like that. And I'm going to drop a boss in the room for now. So let's come to our instances layer. Drop a boss right here. Actually get rid of this enemy. Let's set the sprite for the boss to, oops. Okay. Set the sprite to boss idle. Set the mask to boss mask. Let's see what we get here. If we actually get a work like a boss that chases. Break used without context. What? Oh, we want to exit instead of breaking, since we're in a script now instead of inside of a step event, or instead of Oh, attack range. We have to set our boss's attack range. What is the attack range on the boss? Distance is greater than. Our boss does seem to behave a little bit differently than our normal enemy, actually. But let's just do this for now. We'll say attack range equals. I think my attack range is greater than 64. So if we're less than 64, no, it's 160 actually. 160 is the attack range, I think. Let's see. Okay. Hi there, boss. Why are you floating? Let's go check out the room here. I mean, hopefully this works. Our boss wasn't moving. So we're animating. Don't seem to be hitting our attack state. But this is a good starting point. So why isn't the boss moving? That's the first problem that we need to solve. So if we come into here, if we're in our chase state, should be chasing, as far as I know. unless we're actually colliding with something. So let's try doing x plus equals this right here. Okay. And then comment this out. If we move, we know that we're actually colliding with the ground, and we're still not moving. See that? So, it's not a collision issue, which means it might be a chase speed issue. Which for our boss, we set up a chase speed of 0.5. Maybe maybe our subpixel stuff isn't going to work. So we're still not moving. What happens if we put a normal enemy in the room too, like a knight? Is the knight going to work properly? Should. But I just want to double check. Okay, so movement is working in this chase state, just not with our boss. It's animating, trying to move towards us and everything, but it's just not making it. So let's remove that enemy again, right there. And we'll come into our boss, and we'll say, okay, we've hit the chase state right here. I know what's happening. We're not in the chase state anymore. We're actually in the attack state. I bet if we set this right here to like 64 instead of 160, that we'll see the boss moving. Well, maybe I'm wrong. But the real way to test my theory is to print the state. So we'll just do show debug message state like this. This is the real way to test the theory. So we're in the chase state, should be moving towards us. And now it's in the attack state, but it should have been moving towards us. But potentially it's now a collision issue, right? There is that potential that now we're having a collision issue. It could have been two issues. X plus equals this. So let's check that. Was it a collision? Is it a collision issue and a state issue? And that's why we didn't see it before. So we're in the chase state. There we go. The boss is moving towards us now. It was both a collision issue and a state issue. Because if we get close enough, it stops moving. Because now it's in the attack state, but we haven't set the attack state yet. Okay, perfect. So that means that our boss, what was the solution? I know you guys kind of, what was the solution again that I did for the knights being inside the ground a little bit? Did I change their collision box? Oh, I removed like a 1 pixel edge, and that's fine. That's not a bad solution. But for the boss, I think we can just move the mask down by a pixel. Well, actually, let's just erase this bottom pixel line. Like that. And see if it now works correctly. Okay, did I where did we go here? Boss. Did I update this? Yep, so it's using the collision one. So I just did the same solution basically that we had for the night. So now that we've got the movement towards us working correctly, let's set our speed back to 0.5 because I think 0.5 is going to be a better movement speed for our boss. Really want him to kind of move slowly to help with the feeling of the size. And it's animating probably too slowly as well. Try 0.3. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay. So now our boss needs other states. We need an attack state. Let's start with that one. Well, let's do a knockback state. Case knockback. Because the knockback state should be easy, right? If we look at our knight here, we've already got an easy knockback state, which is just call knockback state. And we can do that exact same thing for our boss here. So knockback state, call knockback. We'll call this boss hit stun. What? I think I did the boss knockback state different. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just used the idle image for this, for the boss's knockback state, it seems. Let's see if this works. Looks good enough. Can beat up on him now. The death state doesn't work, but you know, it's kind of cool to see the game working even though we haven't implemented the other states. Like, it's kind of cool to see. I mean, it's not working correctly, it's bugging out, right? But it's not erroring or anything. We can continue to play even though the states aren't working correctly. Awesome. Now let's do a death state. Case death. And we'll say death state. And it takes a death sprite. So S boss death. Or die, I guess. And then we just say break. And let's run the game again and see how our death state works. I'm avoiding the attack state because it's tricky. There we go. And we got our death state working. Now let's do the attack state. We gotta do it eventually. Case attack. But I'm really happy with how easy this boss has been to implement so far. And that's the idea behind your code, is that you eventually want to set up a system where you have simple scripts like this and whatnot. And then when you add a new enemy, it's really just kind of setting up your new state machine for that specific enemy and changing a few variables in the create event. And then it should just work because you've got all the systems set up. You don't have to recode everything from the ground up again. So let me open up the boss attack state in my reference project. Here we go. And let's do this. Okay, so first, we're going to set state sprite s boss attack. We're going to do an image speed of 0.5. We're going to do an index of 0. Looking good. Say if animation hit frame, and we're going to do frame 7. So on the 7th frame, then we want to create a damage object. So create hitbox, our current X position, our current Y position. Our creator will be self. Our sprite will be S, boss, attack damage. Let's get a little bit more room here. Our knockback, it's 20. Our lifespan, what should our lifespan be? 2 divided by image speed, basically 2. I don't even know what I had the lifespan set to in the other one, but I'm gonna do like maybe 3 frames in this one. Damage is 20. So you don't want to get hit by this. X scale is image X scale. And then we just want to do an if animation end. Good. You can see Godot popping up when I'm programming. It's hard to switch between the two. I switch between them all the time, and so state equals chase, and then we'll have looks like we have some sort of a stall time after the attack to make it so that the boss doesn't attack immediately again. So we might actually want to create a new state for that. So we'll call one stall, and we'll just say alarm 0. Are we already using alarm 0 for our enemies anywhere? We are. It's for the health bar. So for the boss, we'll use alarm 1 here. This will be our stall, and I'm going to set this equal to, we'll just set it equal to 1 second, so 60 frames. And then we'll need to create a stall state as well. So case stall, and in this state, we'll say if alarm, well, is this going to work how I want it to? Not even sure how stalling worked in the other one. If alarm 1 is less than or equal to 0, state equals chase. So there, in our attack, we set our state to stall, and then we stall while the alarm is counting down, and then we switch back to state. Is this going to work? Attacks, and continues to attack instead of stalling. You're supposed to stall, dummy. Huh. I'm almost 100% sure you can't do that in the other one. The knockback state in the other one didn't knock you out of your previous state for the boss. I'm fairly sure. I'm wondering if I ever even used the knockback state for the boss. I don't think I did, actually. I think what I did instead, which is really cheap. Yeah, I don't think I ever had a knockback state for the boss. And because that just doesn't work. It's too easy to just get the boss locked and hit stun, right? Like, you literally don't even have to do anything. Like, this is like, it's like Zelda Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can get, spoilers, you can get Calamity Ganon locked in a state like that where he can't do anything. And the only way to solve this problem is to make it so that when we're hitting an enemy, we check to make sure that it's not a boss. When we put it in the knockback state. So if you come into like the hitbox here, and this feels a little bit hackish to me, but you know, it is an exception. The boss, most enemies you'll want them to enter a knockback state. The boss you don't, and so it's the exception to the rule. So sometimes that's okay. Now you can see right here, we're saying if other.state does not equal death, and we would also have to put and other.object index does not equal o_boss. To prevent the boss from ever entering the knockback state. And then, yeah. Now we can get hit. And our idle state, see, we're in the idle state right now, I think, but the boss is. So now what we need to do is remove the knockback state. We don't have a knockback state. And our attack state sets our state to stall, but see, our stall state never actually sets a sprite. So set sprite or state. Set state sprite. We want to do s boss idle, I think. And oops. Oh, I've got to set an image speed 0.3. I guess it doesn't matter. So just 1 or 0.3 and then 0. And then let's try this. Okay, so boss attacks. Holy cow, what is the hitbox on that thing? And now we're in the idle state. Okay, so why aren't we ever leaving the idle state? The reason the boss isn't leaving the idle state is because we never actually created alarm 1. So you actually have to have an alarm available. So if we go into alarm 1, and then we can just put leave a description in here called idle alarm or something like that. It can be super simple like that. But even just something super simple like that, now the idle alarm should work correctly. Yeah. So he idles for a bit, and then, holy cow, 20 is too much knockback, my friends. This is way too much knockback. I'm okay with the damage. Is this the damage or the knockback? Which one am I changing? That's the damage. I'm going to change the knockback. Let's do 10. 20 is way too much. And for some reason, our hit box is just huge. Let's make it visible again so we can see where this hitbox is being created relative to the boss. So, okay, do your stuff. Okay. Oh, I know why. I know why the hitbox is huge. So the problem is the attack damage right here. We need to set this to manual. No, not manual. Mode should be automatic and then precise. That's our problem. because we're getting hit by every bit of it. And now we should be able to like stand here and be fine. But if we're like right here, then it's going to hit us. Oh yeah, 10 is much better. And you can kind of just pummel at his feet here. So we want to be able to have the knockback still affect the boss, but not actually have a knockback state, because we don't want to change states when we hit him. And we can do a similar thing to what we did with the death state, which is in the other states. If you remember our death state, we just run this little piece of code right here. And so I'm just going to copy this. And inside of our attack state, we can paste this. And inside of our idle state, or our stall state, we can paste this. And inside of our chase state, we can also paste this. And you could make a little script for it. That might be, since it looks kind of ugly to paste it around. So we can call this boss knockback. Let's try and be at least mildly organized here with this little bit here. So that it's not, so it's just every time you're copy pasting stuff around, it should be a red flag. That you should maybe be using a script for it. Boss knockback. So there we go. Our boss has kind of the exception, very specific. It can receive he can receive, or her, I don't know, it might be her. Whoever it is, they can receive knockback between all of the different states that they're in. And I feel like our boss's stall state is way too long. Very much too long. We do want a little bit of a stall. I think that's smart, but you know, you don't want it to be that long. Okay, now the problem, oh, there we managed to get hit. Our own knockback is killing us. So now the problem is wailing at the boss's feet, right? And how do you solve that problem? It's a little bit of a difficult problem to solve. But what I ended up doing in the original source code was not using the same chase state that the knight uses. The boss has its own chase state. So let's copy the knight's chase state, but we're going to be making some changes to it. Because it doesn't work quite how we need it to. Okay, so, and we might put this in a script just to make it a little bit easier here. Yeah, let's call this boss chase state. And then we'll create a new script. Boss chase state. Okay. So how did I solve this problem? What I did was, instead of having if you're within this attack range, I had some more checks here. So I had, if you're within the attack range, if the distance to the player is greater than, let's take off this else here. If the distance to the player is less than the attack range and greater than the backup range. Okay, just bear with me here. So let's create a backup range in our boss. So boss right here. And we have our create event, and we'll create a backup range. So we'll set backup range equal to 48, and let's have our attack range be a little bit farther out, like 80. Okay? Something like that. And then we come back into our boss's chase state, and we say, and distance to player is greater than the backup range, then we attack. If distance to player is greater than attack range, then we just move towards the player. If distance to player is less than backup range, then we want to back up. And so we're going to do that by calling move and collide. Well, can we call move and collide? Because move and collide updates our... No, we can. We can call move and collide. We just don't want to update... we don't want to update our X scale. So we only want to update our X scale. So copy this right here. Only want to update our X scale when we're moving forward like this. If we're moving backwards, we don't want to update our X scale. So in here, when we're moving backwards, our backup range, we're going to do move and collide, direction, facing, negative direction facing, times chase speed, and then our Y speed is going to be 0. So what does this do? This just says if we're too close to the player, back up. If we're too far from the player, move towards the player. If we're right in the middle of those two, right here, then attack. And let's test this. And this isn't a perfect solution, obviously, to this problem. But it does at least have him kind of like try and back up a little bit. It didn't quite transition correctly. If and distance is greater than distance to player is less than or equal to backup range. That's what we want there. So now at least the boss will attempt to back up. And this was the solution that I came up with. So you can't just stand here and wail on him anymore. He's going to try and back up. But we do want to make sure that he backs up far enough in order to actually hit us. So where's our boss again? Our backup range needs to be larger. Let's try 64. And our attack range will be more like 120. Let's see what this does. Now to test this, I'm just going to walk up to the boss and then stop. Does he attack too early? Nope, he doesn't. He attacks at a pretty good time. Now if I come up too close to him, does he back up far enough to hit me? Nope, he still doesn't back up far enough. So let's try 80. So this is just, I had all this code in the other game, but I've changed enough that this is different. Backs up. Still can't quite hit me, can he? 96. Back it up, back it up, back it up. There we go. Now he can hit us. Okay. Maybe we do want to update the the image index though. But only if the player is on the wrong side. So let's come into our boss chase state here, and we do want to update it. I know this video is going to be long, but I think it's important to kind of get some of this stuff down correctly. So, or I guess it's important to get this stuff, at least the AI, to where it works semi-decently. So what we want to do here is we do want to update, but only if our direction facing doesn't match with the value that we're getting. So if direction facing is equal to sine O skeleton dot x minus x, then we update our... Where does direction facing get updated anyways? Oh, it's at the top. Okay, that's fine. That should work. Then we update image x scale equals what? Oh. Yeah, that's right. Then we update our image x scale. And I literally just guessed, so I don't know if I got this right. It might be not equal to instead of equal to. Okay. Doesn't seem to be doing it at all, to be honest. So maybe it is not equal to. Not equal to. Let's try that. So he's backing up there. Oh, he turned around. Oh, look how clever he is. Look at that clever boss. He knows. He knows. We can still do this though. He'll be stuck like this forever. But you're not going to be running into bosses when there's only one enemy on the screen like this. You're going to be running into bosses when there's like multiple enemies on the screen. So in that scenario, you're going to have to worry about the other enemies too. So this is going to have to be good enough for now. If you want to try and make your own solution, I would give the boss an alternate attack that instead of in the backup range, he backs up. He uses the alternate attack that damages at his feet. You know, maybe he stomps his feet, kind of throws a little tantrum or something. That would be the best solution to being able to just wail at his feet like we can currently. But this is a decent solution. Now we're going to go back into our room. We're going to get rid of the boss. We're going to drop our knight into the level. We're going to open up our enemy spawner, and we're going to make it so that it spawns bosses. And this is the last thing we're going to do in this video. It's been a long video. If you guys stuck with me, then I appreciate that. Let's finish it up, and we'll have the boss. I think it'll be worth it. I opened up the help file again. Think it'll be worth it. Okay, so how do we create the boss? Well, basically what I did is I said right here where we choose the enemy, I said if O skeleton dot kills is greater than 20, so bosses don't appear until you have 20 kills, and not instance exists object boss. So, and there isn't a boss in the room. Then enemy equals choose object crow, object crow, object knight, object knight, object boss. Like that. So it just kind of updates how enemy is chosen like that. Let's give it a try. So we got to get to 20 kills. See what we can do. See if our boss appears. Get out of here. We got to turn off our hitboxes too. Oh, dang it. I rolled right into that. Playing for glory. Oh, he almost got me, but gotta get better with those roll punishes, Crow. Okay. Holy cow, 20 kills though. I gotta get better at my combo game. Okay, we're at 20. So we should start seeing bosses now. Oh, that was close. Okay, so bosses are definitely scary when there are other enemies around. Like, sure, you can just wail on them, but there we go. You have to worry about what the other enemies are doing too. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. That was not good. Ooh. Oh yeah, I forgot about the other thing that I did. Which was, I set up so that every time the boss hits the ground, it does a whole bunch of screen shake in the original one. I want to do that again. Okay, let's call it good for now. Ouch. Haha, he hit the crow instead of me. What an idiot. There we go. Well, let's show the screen shake now when the boss attacks. We'll turn off our hitbox so it's no longer visible. Come into the boss. When we do our attack, we're going to add screen shake. We'll do an intensity of like 10 and a duration of like 10 as well. I don't know. Maybe 8. 10 is a long time. That's a lot of frames. And then we'll drop a boss in real quick so we can just test to make sure that this is working correctly. Holy cow, maybe that wasn't a long time. I thought that was going to be a long time, but let's try like 16 frames, I guess. There we go, that's better. Perfect. It's good enough for now. Did a lot of work in this video. Let's give it a rest now. Do Windows, close all. Thank you all so much for watching this video. We've made the first boss in the game. Hopefully you enjoyed it as a mini challenge, or like not a mini challenge, but as a challenge for like moving forward. I would challenge you to create an attack for the boss that kind of gets you off of the boss's feet. So like maybe even just the boss doing some sort of like a lifting the sword in the air and then like a blast that kind of shoots stuff out from too close. So, and have some way to telegraph that and whatnot. Shouldn't be too hard though with the state system. You just have a state for that new attack and create it right there. Should be really easy to do something like that. So give it a try. See if you can come up with something like that. A better solution to just being able to hack at the boss's feet to make it more interesting. The solution that I implemented is obviously the one that's in the actual game, or similar to the one that's in the actual game. And the reason I did this solution when I was doing the originally was because I was doing a game jam, and you're just in a rush and you don't think of the best solutions all the time. But it's an interesting thing to think about and learn from. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will talk to you guys later.